Wow, that was another look at the new film 1917, and film critic and Kansas City Magazine contributor Lonita Cook joining us now. Earlier we showed you, or showed your interview with the director and some of the actors, but you also got a chance to talk with some of the other folks associated with this movie. Real quick, tell us about your experience with this film.
Oh my goodness. So you want to talk about the film, or you want to talk about my interviewing?
Let's hear about your interviewing first.
Because this was the first time I went on a press junket, which is like, oh my God, I'm so excited. And I went to Chicago, and I got to, and what they do is they have these stars and artists, they sit stationary in a room, and then they just rotate us in and out. Sam Mendes, director with the Golden Gaze, Oscar Award winning for American Beauty. He did Skyfall. He is my very first junket interview.
Oh, very cool.
It was so awesome. I had
a blast. Who did you get to talk to here for this one?
We talked to Wilson-Cairns, Krysty Wilson-Cairns. She is the co-writer, so she wrote the script.
Okay.
Sam Mendes kind of had the vision. It's inspired by stories that his grandfather told him, who did serve in World War I. He was from Trinidad and Tobago. And so that vision, that singular vision, he partnered with her to tell the story.
All right, well, let's check out that interview.
I've read you talk about being at the table with heavy hitters.
Oh, yeah.
And looking up and realizing that I'm the only one here without an Oscar.
Yes.
So, and I'm like, whoa, I would be so intimidated. How do you keep your sense of security in those moments?
Well, I mean, the nice thing about being at that table was I was invited to that table. I didn't just break in. I was like, hey, everybody, listen to me. I'd worked with Sam a lot before, and I knew that my gender never really played a factor in his desire to work with me, so I never felt like I had insurmountable odds, which is so helpful.
Everybody's talking about all the dynamics of the movie. We're talking about the special, the technicality of it.
Oh yeah, of course, the camera.
But I think it starts with the script.
Well, yeah, you're not wrong. I can take credit for some of the script. I wrote it with Sam. You know, you can have the best camera move and you can have the most exciting sort of visual and audio and set design landscape in the world. But if you don't have characters you love, then what's the point?
Stop! It's a mine shaft! But we have to jump! Come on! You're going to have to jump! Just jump! I can't see! You need to trust me!
If the script didn't work, we would never have got Roger Deakins or Dennis Gassner or Sam Mendes, because he would have just been like, that didn't work, goodbye. So, you know, everything does start with the script, starts with the characters. And I think with this film, the unique challenge was, and not just for my department, but for everyone, was to appear invisible. Because it has to feel like reality, and so you never want to feel the hand of the author or the camera operator.
Absolutely. One thing that I hadn't thought about in terms of war, the French girl.
Yes.
And her being there with the baby, and we assume it's her baby, and she's like, you know, I don't know this baby, we're just surviving together. And so this idea of displacement.
The First World War didn't just affect men. No war just affects men, it's a complete misnomer. Obviously, stories are traditionally told by men, from men's point of views, and 1917 is obviously about two young soldiers, but it's a keyhole into the whole war, and we would have been hugely remiss if we didn't also tell the story of women that were, I mean, profoundly affected by that war.
So I'm just hearing incredible things about this film. This is a must-see.
It is a must-see, like with some on it, yes.
If you don't see it, Lonita's coming after you.
At your house.
So get to the theaters and check out 1917.
1917.
Of course, comes out today. Other movies that are in theaters this weekend, we have to talk about.
Super quick.
Just Mercy. This is the one Michael B. Jordan, and is based on a true story, right?
Yes. So Brian Stevenson, newly Harvard graduated attorney, he wants to go down south and help convicted felons who are on death row. Jamie Foxx, stellar turn in his performance as an inmate on death row, falsely accused of murdering a white woman in the South. And this is back in our lifetimes in 1987, I think it was.
Oh, really?
Yes, and it was very emotional to watch.
Yeah.
It was, the story is obviously based on a true story. The story is better than the execution of the story here, but it is still one that you need to see.
Okay, check that one out. And then the last one, Like a Boss. This is Tiffany Haddish and Salma Hayek, right?
Salma Hayek and Rose Byrne. And so Tiffany Haddish and Rose Byrne, they play best friends since middle school, and they have built kind of a beauty empire together. And then Salma Hayek, who is a mega beauty empire conglomerate, she comes and throws them for a doozy.
Okay. Is this a funny one, or is this kind of a...
It's funny. It's not the worst movie, but it's also not the best.
Okay.
In terms of the racial dynamics, I think that if you care about those things, this kind of black woman caricature that Tiffany Haddish has built to build her career is kind of getting in the way of her evolution.
Really?
And yeah, so I think people will kind of feel that in the movie. But if you kind of are chill on that kind of stuff, you'll enjoy it.
All right, well, with the weather this weekend, I think a lot of folks will probably enjoy staying inside and catching some films. So 3 great choices to check out: 1917, Like a Boss, and Just Mercy. Good choices from Lonita Cook. Thank you very much for your time. And congratulations on getting to go to Chicago and all the junket. How cool is that?
It was a blast.